This is English shorthand dictation number 314 and the dictation speed is 120 words per minute. Ready? Start. There are three major hurdles in the fight against hate speech in India. The first and often the most important hurdle is administrative vacillation. The second and associated problem is the absence of political will in checking hate speech by leaders. It is because faith and community based polarization often bring electoral dividends. The third problem is legal because there is no concrete definition of hate speech. On 28th April 2023, the Supreme Court took a big stride in removing the first hurdle, ordering the immediate registration of first information reports in cases involving hate speeches. In October 2022, against the backdrop of cases where alleged hate speeches were made, the Supreme Court asked the police chiefs of Delhi, Uttarakhand, and Uttar Pradesh to file suo motu cases. This week, the Supreme Court extended the decision across India and reiterated that any violation of its directive will be treated as contempt of court. The court's directive is welcome. The only deterrent for elements who attempt to drive a wedge between communities is rigorous and persistent police action. Unfortunately, as seen in recent cases, police and local administrations are slow in booking bad actors, especially if they are politically connected. The reasons for this are obvious, as is the fact that infirmities in the legal proceedings often render them inconsequential. The Supreme Court's insistence that the administration must not wait for complaints to file cases holds the potential to change this depressing status quo, but may require steady monitoring. But for sustained change to take place, attention needs to be paid to the other hurdles, political and legal. Unfortunately, polarized political equations and a near breakdown of communication between not just the government and the opposition, but also the center and some prominent states, means the kind of compact needed to build a political consensus against hate speech eludes India today. Moreover, no political party appears willing to rein in leaders from making sectarian remarks or make it clear that disparaging comments will not get them a platform. Indeed, the reverse is often true. Finally, while India has a bouquet of laws, some with vague provisions prone to misuse, what it needs are clear guidelines. The Supreme Court and the government should consider a clear statutory definition of hate speech, as recommended by a Law Commission report, to steer away from current practices where prosecution is usually under Section 295A of the Indian Penal Code, which is essentially an anti blasphemy law, or Sections 153A and B, which are not equipped to deal with the whole gamut of hate speech, as they are largely focused on maintaining social order. It is precisely because of these reasons that the Supreme Court's October directions saw no great outpouring of cases against bad actors or a flurry of prosecutions against them. This is not to say that the latest order of the Supreme Court is not significant. It is significant and it represents the first real step taken in India against hate speech. The court is right to observe that hate speech is dangerous because it can pierce the secular fabric of the nation. But to nurture democracy, the nation will have to move towards political and legal solutions to the problem, in addition to administrative fixes. The Supreme Court has rightly and resolutely observed that judges have no business granting interviews on pending matters. A bench led by the Chief Justice of India has taken a serious note of an interview given by a judge to a news channel about the West Bengal teachers' recruitment scam. In the interview, the Calcutta High Court judge reportedly made remarks about the Trinamool Congress government and one of its party leaders, who is on the radar of central probe agencies that are investigating the scam, reacting sharply to the West Bengal government's accusation that some persons in the judicial system were working in league with the BJP. The judge had allegedly threatened that if such comments were made against him, he would show how tough the judiciary can be. The apex court has drawn a line that should not be crossed by any judge. This is a reaffirmation of the restatement of values of judicial life as adopted by a full court meeting of the Supreme Court in May 1997. This veritable code of ethics states that a judge is expected to let his judgments speak for themselves and he shall not give interviews to the media. It also asserts that a judge shall not enter into a public debate or express his views in public on political matters or on matters that are pending or are likely to arise for judicial determination. No wonder the judge in question here finds himself under judicial scrutiny for violating these crystal clear guidelines. The people's faith in the judiciary is undermined whenever any judge is perceived to be partisan. It is imperative for judges of the Supreme Court and high courts to lead by example so that the credibility of the entire judicial system is not compromised. Keeping one's distance from both the powers that be and the opposition parties is a prerequisite for maintaining the dignity of a judge's august office. The recent farewell party hosted by the Kerala Chief Minister for the outgoing High Court Chief Justice has unnecessarily triggered a controversy over the impartiality of the judiciary as envisaged in the Constitution. It is hoped that the Supreme Court's tough stand will deter judges from lowering the bar.